Yeah. Omar, what's up? Throwback Thursday. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. What's up? All right, and we are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is going to be all right. We talking about marriage versus living in together tonight. Marriage versus living with each other. That's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Get Him show. Marriage versus living with each other. It's Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday. What y'all know? What's the difference between being married and living with each other? Now, y'all know the obvious difference. The obvious difference is the piece of paper. But there's more to it than that. The thing is, some people believe in just living together, being together, staying together. And there are people who say you have to get married because if you never get married, if you never finalize things, then you always leave the door open to just leave, just go, just skate, just route, just break, just take off, just be out. But is it really like that? Well, we gonna see. Yeah. All right, let's get it popping, y'all. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. Daily Go Get 'Em Show. Daily Go Get 'Em Show. You think it ain't when it is. You think it won't when it is. All right. Now, hold on. Because I got this mic here. Let me know. You know what? Let me do it like this. Because I don't want that thing snap, crackling, and popping. So let me get it stuck in here. No diddy. Okay, yeah, that'd work. Get it stuck in there, not rubbing up against nothing. How y'all feeling, man? Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships. Thursdays, the Daily Go Get 'Em Show. I'm your host, Son 752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Daily Go Get 'Em Show, all up in your area. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Tonight, on this Throwback Thursday, let's get real about relationships Thursday. We are talking about marriage versus living together versus marriage. Marriage versus living together versus marriage. What up, my man Omar, my namesake? What's going on, my dude? And India Opal. India Opal says, I called the number. It didn't work. You didn't call the number and it would have worked. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying you didn't do what you said you did. And there wouldn't have been a reason for you to call in that early anyway. You know nobody but trolls call in before I tell anybody to call in. You would have been interrupting the music if you just called in. Maybe that might have been your goal. But we good. We straight. So this is what we talking about tonight, man. Tonight on the Daily Go Get 'Em Show, we are talking about living together versus marriage. What do y'all think? What do you think? What comes to your mind as soon as you hear a title like that, a concept like that? If somebody is having a conversation about that within your earshot, if you hear two people talking about living together versus marriage, what are your initial thoughts? What comes to your mind? How do you feel about it? What kind of emotions? What does it emote to you? What does it emote? Do you know what I'm talking about when we use a word like emote? We're talking about your emotions. How does it make you feel? Like what are the things that pop into your mind? Maybe it's like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about living together versus marriage? Which one works for you? Which one works for you? Have you done both? Have you done one or the other? Have you done one or the other? Because a lot of people feel like you should do one before you do the other. There are many people who believe that you should live together before you ever get married. And then there are people who believe that you should never live with somebody before you get married because they feel like if you get married, if you move in with somebody, you live with somebody, and y'all are living as man and wife before you get married, then there's a good chance that you will never get married. There's a good chance that you will never get married. And a lot of people feel that way. If you move in with each other, then you'll probably never get married. So you're already playing house. You're already doing everything or living as husband and wife. You just don't have the same level of commitment. That's how a lot of people feel about it. The same level of commitment isn't there. You don't have the concrete level of commitment that it takes in order to solidify what marriage is really all about. Well, you know, marriage means different things to different people. You know that. I know that. We know that. So how does it go? You know what? We're going to do this. We are going to start off this thing. We're going to start off with a poll question. I think I got a goodie. I think I have a goodie. I think I have a good poll question. We're going to see how it goes. You know, we come in and work a little bit late. Y'all know how it is. we start a little light. It gets a little heavy as we go on, but we do it as if it's a million people up in here. You know, we going to do it to death. Art of Mine 559, my peoples. What's going on, man? I haven't seen you around in a hot minute. It's always good to see you, though. You know what I mean? The more time that goes that I don't see you, I feel better when I do see you. What's good? It's a salute Supreme Sun 752 and salute chat. No doubt, man. Good to see you, my brother. So we gonna do this poll question. I think y'all might be feeling this one because this is a good one. This should get a little conversation started. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I get it right here. Let me get it right here. Okay, I think this is a good one. Here is the poll question. See what y'all think about this. Jen Ramirez, señorita Ramirez. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás, señorita Ramirez? Es en la casa. Here's the poll question, y'all. Do you think that when people move in together before marriage, that they will never get married? Do you think that when people move in with each other before marriage, that they will never get married? I mean, a lot of people think that. A lot of people feel that way. Are they wrong? Because they might not be. There may be a lot of instances where people actually never went ahead and got married if they moved in with each other. It's like a test run. And if the test doesn't work out the way that you thought it would, a lot of people say, well, I'm kind of glad I didn't do that. But in the meantime, when you're moving in with each other, you're probably doing everything that a married couple does. You know, first of all, you may live with each other for many years. You may have children together, just like married people do. You might be splitting bills, just like married people do. You may be loving each other and valuing each other and doing for each other and relying on each other, depending on each other, just like married people do. As a matter of fact, not all married people do that, but they do have that marriage certificate, the marriage license. They did pull the trigger. They went all the way. They jumped the broom. So I'm not here tonight. I'm not here personally to say which one is better. We're just here to have a conversation about one or the other, you know. So I'm sure some of us have lived with people before. Maybe sometimes it worked out, maybe it didn't, you know. And just like marriage, some of y'all may value the times that y'all lived with somebody or learned from that, and maybe are glad that you were able to walk away from it. The same way some people who get married are glad that they were able to get a divorce and clear their slate that way. But of course, you know, when it comes to a marriage, the same process that you have to use in order to get married and solidify that process, you have to do the same kind of things in order to end the marriage. You can't just walk away. You can't just be like, I quit you. I'm breaking up with you. Don't call me no more. Don't deal with me no more. I'm taking my shit. It don't work that way, dog. It's all legal. It's all legal, which is one of the reasons that a lot of people think that just living together is probably a better way to ease their way into a marriage. But just like the poll question suggests, do you think that's when people move in together, when they live together before they get married, do you think that keeps them from ever getting married? Now, I'm sure you know people that would probably say, yeah, because you know people who did move in with each other and didn't get married. Some people I know, I don't know who y'all know, but some people I know are always moving somebody in. They always living with somebody. They keep a roommate some kind of way, whether it's their lover, their cousin, a boarder, a tenant, their niece, nephew, somebody living with. They don't be living alone, but a lot of people, I know people, as soon as they get into a serious relationship, they hand out the key. Go get your shit from wherever it is, move it in here. Or I'm getting my shit from wherever I'll come from, and I'm moving in there. Some people just are the moving in type, which to people who don't believe in that kind of stuff kind of compromises the integrity of the union. But who's the judge? Who's to say how somebody else should conduct their relationships? Well, I mean, I might not have too much to say about how somebody conducts their relationship or how they find love or how they let love play out. But there are plenty of people out here who really turn their nose up at people who move in with each other or have children out of wedlock and all that kind of stuff. And when you start talking about living with each other, then you kind of mixing all of that stuff in the pot. So let's talk about it, get about it. Let's talk about it, be about it, get involved. These puzzle pieces right now, we gonna solve, we involved. Yeah, we got love. Do we got love? Do we really fit like a glove? Can I put you on my hand like the OJ and say, yo, if you don't fit, you don't acquit. Yo, I said, I don't fit, you gotta acquit. You know what I'm talking about. Please don't mess around with it. All right, so let me see. Estoy muy bien, gracias. Igualmente. It's definitely no fun aging alone. Hey, Artemine, let me ask you this, son. Hold on, he says relationship hopping gets old too. Let me ask you this, doggy. Let me ask you this. And anybody else who wants to answer the question, y'all can answer the question too. But let me ask you this. What do you think? Do you think that living together, do you think that when people who are older, when you get older, let's say over 40, do you think that people who move in together when they are over 40 have a better chance of staying together than people who might move in with each other when they're in their 20s and 30s? Does the age 40 or 45, maybe even 50, do you think that it becomes more serious? Do you think it becomes more serious and maybe you might choose a little wiser or do the things necessary in order to keep the fire burning than you might do in your younger years? You know, because when you're younger, you might not even be really thinking about marriage. I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of young people really are moving towards being married. But then again, a lot of young people are moving in with each other, and they're moving, period. You know how it is. Some people, some young cats, when they're in like their 20s and even 30s, some of them are unstable. So they're going from apartment to apartment. You know, they might move soon as a lease is up, a year lease, they might be moving to another place. You know, maybe they haven't bought a house yet. Maybe they're not even looking for a house. They just, apartment hunting and doing what they do. But do you think that maybe once you become 40 and over, do you think that maybe you start taking your relationships a little bit more seriously? I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on some of that stuff. I'm gonna tell you something. I mean, we gonna talk. Okay. Artemine says 45 and 50 get serious. 45 to 50 get serious. You know what? Now, I'll tell you. Remember when Viagra first came out? A lot of old heads were reigniting their sexual flame because a lot of them, they was limp. They was walking with a limp down there. You know what I mean? They was walking with a limp. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't getting up like James Brown. It wasn't no get up, stand up. But once they got Viagra, it gave them a new lease on life. They were able to reclaim their sexual prowess. You know, they was able to do it again. They was able to do the nasty again. No more sexual dysfunction. Well, let me tell you like this. Well, I'm gonna ask the question. I'm not going to tell it. I'm going to ask the question. Could it be that social media is the new Viagra for the young old heads? You know, the young old heads, 40 to 50 years old. You are old head to 20 and 30-year-olds, but you ain't, you know, you still a whippersnapper to the 60 club and the 70 club. You know, hopefully we all get a chance to get there. But what I'm saying is, just like Viagra gave a new lease on life for a bunch of men who were suffering from sexual dysfunction, and a lot of that sexual dysfunction came from, you know, medical issues and stuff like that. Maybe if you drank and drank heavily and smoked a lot, you know, you gonna lose your dick. And that's just a warning to all my drinkers and smokers. Listen, man, all things in moderation. You can best believe that once you start getting into your 50s or whatever, if you drink a lot, if you smoke, you are compromising those blood vessels. And you know, a hard dick is all about blood vessels. So you mess up those blood vessels and she might be pretty as hell. But your man's like, oh man, I'm telling her to hold up. Let's see how we feeling in the morning next week. But with social media, where 40 people, men in their 40s, women in their 40s, whoever, 40s, 50s, and even 60s for some of them, they into it. The internet is giving them a whole different perspective of people that they can bet, that they can date, that they can meet, that they can be friends with or whatever. So that's almost like getting a shot of Viagra. Like, whereas, just like you were saying, you know, growing old and alone ain't the deal. But social media kind of lessens the likelihood that you will be old and alone. You can find somebody on the internet, good, bad, or indifferent. One thing you can do on the internet is you can find somebody. You can find somebody for you. They might be crazy. They might be dangerous. They might be weirdo. They might be a total nerd. They might be a homebody. They might be a serial killer. They might be crazy as hell. They might be on some other shit. They might be, very judgmental. They might be, what the hell? They might not have no teeth. They might have a BBL. They might have gotten some surgery. They might have a story to tell. Yeah, the internet has all different kind of flavors, sort of like Baskin Robbins, but I savor. I say, yo, take your time, young man, or even older woman. You know, we are swimming on some other shit. I ain't really trying to hit, and I ain't trying to get caught out with the bullshit. But please hit the like button, y'all. Share the show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Get Him Show. I'm your host, Son752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Daily Go Get Him Show. And we are talking about living with each other versus marriage. Living with each other versus marriage. Big boy, he says, seen plenty of couples never marry and stay together for decades. I have too, son. I have too. And you know what? Some of the people that I know who stayed together for decades, I found out later on that they was married to somebody else. That was the reason that they never got married. It's crazy. But the thing is, sometimes the way it plays out is kind of sad. It's kind of tragic. Let's say you've been living with and maybe even have children with somebody that y'all been together for 20, 30 years, and you was married to somebody else. Now they die and they can't leave you. The only thing they can really leave you is whatever they have right then and there. But their spouse still has rights to everything that they have, whether they was together or not. You might try to claim common law, but how you going to claim common law when you was married? You had a whole spouse. They was out of the picture. Might not have been nothing going on, but you had a whole spouse. So you had a wife and a wifey. You had a husband and a hubby. I mean, it can play out that way because some people, you might have got married as a Catholic. And you know, some people, even though they might not go to church, they might not practice any type of religion. It might be ingrained in their head that life is, marriage is till death do you part. I actually know somebody where it played out like that. He was with the woman for 40 years. Right? 40 years. 40 years. Or more. Maybe 45. They was never married. They had mad kids. He passed. And the wife, he owned some houses. You know, some real estate that he rented out and shit like that. The wife came through when he passed and was like, give me that. And it wasn't nothing nobody could do. The kids couldn't stop it. Nobody could stop it. And they was mad at her, but the wife was like, well, he ain't divorced me. Give me that. And this is one of the things that make people say, see, that's why I would never live with somebody versus marrying them. If I live with somebody, we're going to have a certain time frame or I'm moving the fuck out. Like, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to test drive this car. We got 2 years, maybe 3 years. We're going to live together. We're going to love together. We're going to be together. And after that 3 years, we are walking the aisle. Even if we don't have a big ceremony, we are going to solidify that thing. Maybe we go on vacation. We're going to go to Vegas, get married, come home, have a ceremony later on. At least a reception. We already had the honeymoon when we went to go. We had the marriage and the honeymoon at the same time. We went to Vegas, spent a bunch of money, had a great time. Shout out to the MGM Grand. We got married, came back on. You know, hey, look, man. Listen, Phil, you know I'm talking. Hey, yeah. Cam's Whams is in the house and my people's wisdom. What up? Good to see y'all, man. What's going on, my people? What's going on? Audemars says, never tried Viagra. Was scared my heart would bust. My testosterone is in good working order. Hey, me too. I was just an example. And Omar says, I be cougar hunting. Well, you just be careful out there. You know, those cougars, they bite real hard. You know what I mean? You seen the tail on them cougars? You see how long and thick the tail is? You be careful of them cougars. Row! You be careful of them cougars. Be careful of the cougar. Jen says, I know a few couples that had whole families and never got married. My friend's parents. It happens. It does. It definitely does. Omar says, well, he could make a will and get around that. Yes. And he should have. But guess what? He didn't. And it was terrible. Yo, it's this shit. I was like, what? I said, why didn't your dad marry your mom? Because he was sick. He was sick for a while, but he wasn't down sick. I was like, yo, he had enough time to go ahead and make it right. He had to divorce the other lady. She wasn't going to divorce him. She was like, shit, go ahead and start the process. I hope you make it in time. When I say she came through and grabbed everything she could, she did. Shorty was living in the house. She was living in the house that her dad owned. The wife kicked her out like, yo, all right, yeah. You know what I mean? I realized you was doing it and everything. And sorry for your loss, but you know I lost too. Anyway, get your shit, get the fuck out of here. Hey yo, yo, putting your shit in storage. Yo, yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Art of Mine says, I'm married 31 years now. It's been a love and hate situationship. It's hard to be married to somebody or even just with somebody for that amount of time. Best believe that if you with somebody if you with somebody double-digit years, y'all done been through a lot. It ain't sweet like that. This ain't TV. I ain't saying it's all bad, but y'all have learned each other in a way that people who have never been in a relationship that long will never understand, especially if it's consistent. You know, like not a lot of breaks and, you know, like leaving and returning, leaving and returning, leaving. You know. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, share the show. And hit up that poll question. Y'all see the poll question up there? The poll question is, do you think that when people move in together before marriage that they will never get married? Do you think that when people move in together before marriage that they never get married, that they never got that milk for free? Yeah, I make a P. Do you know what I mean when I say that I make a P? I mean that she be coming and humming and guitar strumming. Yeah, and that's all good, but have we gotten together? Is it understood? Is it all love? Is it all wood? Yo, could we be together for forever? Like, what? Cam says, I lived with someone once for 10 years. They eventually left because they got parole. Wow. Damn. What? Wait a minute. They said I lived with someone once for 10 years. They eventually left because they got parole. Is that a funny? You kidding? You was locked up with somebody for 10 years. They went home. Yo, what is you talking? Hey, yo, you got chill. You got Jen says, oh my, congratulations, 31 years. Word. Kim Swim says, I knew a couple who were together since high school. They had kids and all, but never married. Did they live together too? Kim says, the man was killed a few years ago. His trash mother and sister swooped in like vultures and tried to take everything. Even though they built a life together and bought things together. The woman had to take them to court. Fortunately, she won. Woo! She won? Oh, you said what, the mother and sister came through to take. Oh, yeah. They can beat that. You can beat them. You can beat a parent. You can beat a parent. But that wife, that spouse, let me tell you how grimy some people can get. My mom and my stepdad lived together 7 years before they got married. 6 years. 6 years. They met each other. I believe they met each other, to my knowledge, in 1982. And then they were my stepdad moved in with us in 83. And then they got married in 89. He passed in 2010. So from 82, they were together from 82 to the time of his death, February 10th, 2010. So what are we talking about? 82 to 92 is 10. 92 to 2002 is 20. All right. So 28 years. 28 years. All right. Don't you know his fake wife? A woman that he lived with before that he didn't marry. His fake wife came in trying to pose as his real wife that he was still married to. My mom was like, I don't really give a fuck who you are. Because my mom knew her. She knew her name. Yeah, it wasn't like she was a secret. But she knew he wasn't married to her. Right. She tried to bust a move. It gets the thing about moving in with each other and not being married is that it gets messy. If the bitter end comes, if one of y'all don't make it, it gets nasty because the issue of property becomes a large issue and it can change your life forever. So if you have a chance before you pass, go ahead and do that thing. Go ahead and do that thing. Let's get dressed. I'm already dressed. I am. But we, you, me, us, we, you, me, us, we. All right, it's time to rock the cow bones. Rock the cow bone. It's time for us to rock the cow bones. Rock the cow bones. It's time for us to rock the struggle beads. Rock the struggle beads. All right, which one y'all want to wear? Which one y'all want to wear? The one on the left? The one on the left? So I think. The one in the middle? Or the one on the right? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Do you want to be? What's it going to be? What do you want to be? Well. All right. Artemine says R. That means right. Omar says left. All right. This is the one on the right. This is the one in the middle. And this is the one on the left. So we got two for the right. Two for the right, two for the right, two for the right. This is the one on the left. That's the one on the left. This is the one on the left. This is the one on the left. This is the one in the middle. Middle. And this is the one on the right. So we got two for the right. All we need is one more. All we need is one more. But we do need one more. I just need one more. Just once. Can we find a way to finally make it right? Oh, to make the magic last for more than just one night. Come on, y'all. This is the one on the right. This is the one. Yo, all of y'all in the background, come above ground and vote. This is the one on the right. This is the one in the middle. And this is the one on the left. Y'all taking too long. The right is about to win. I'm counting down to 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. The right wins. That's this one. The right wins. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Stick your neck out here. Get everything good. Everything good. Levels is good. Levels is good. Kieran came in and said left. All late. All late. Well, the right one. The right one. That would have just made it a tie anyway. All right. But it's all good. What up, Kieran? Let's see. All right. Looking good to me. Looking good to me. Yeah, look at y'all. Y'all looking good. Y'all looking good. Real good. Ladies, you're looking beautiful. You're looking pretty. You're looking sweet. You're looking lovely. You're looking elegant. You're looking real cutie. You look real cutie. Yeah, brothers, you're looking handsome. You're looking suave. You're looking debonair. You're looking smooth. You know what I mean? You got your soft stuff on. Everybody looking good. Y'all looking like a Saturday night. Y'all looking like a Saturday night. You know what I mean? Y'all ready to go somewhere. Y'all ready to do something. You know what I mean? Everybody about to pick up something. Everybody about to pick up something. Take a screenshot. A give of what you got. Take a screenshot. I give you like it a lot to take a screenshot. Yeah, you know how it go. It's the Daily Go Getism show with the man. Oh, all right, let's go. Living together, moving in together versus marriage. At the end of the day, marriage is not for everybody. Living together ain't for everybody. You know, I mean, a lot of people will give you a hard time because you choose to live with somebody instead of getting married right away. You may have intentions of getting married one day, but you might not want to do that. And it really is your own business. But you know how business goes. Anything that's your business will become somebody else's business. Somebody will make your business their business, and they will make it their business to tell you about your business and what business you should have and how you should conduct your business. You know how it go. You know how it go. You know. So, but you're a grown man or a grown woman, hopefully. And I have to say hopefully because sometimes people who are underage move in with each other. Sometimes people who are underage move in with each other. I have known situations like this. Now, let me tell you, I mean, and this kind of situation might be familiar to y'all, to some of y'all. Olga Beck Ismatov. Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you. Like, let's take a situation where a young couple got pregnant, teenage couple, 16, 17 years old. Maybe they've been seeing each other for 2 or 3 years, but he's 17. Like just as an example, let's say he's 17, she's 15 or 16, and maybe one of the parents of one of the kids in this pregnancy situation where they're going to have the baby. That's not a question. They're going to have a baby. It might play out like maybe the girl, let's say the girl is having problems with her family. They didn't approve. Maybe they didn't like the boy in the first place. They figure he was only out to try to get some ass, or at the very least, take the purity and innocence away from their little girl. And maybe they didn't even look at their little girl as pure and innocent. Maybe they looked at her as like a little whore, little hoe, little loose booty, little thought. You know what I mean? Trying to be grown out there, trying to be grown. You know what I mean? And maybe it just wasn't a good situation for her to live with her parents. Not saying that they kicked her out, but maybe she was as good as kicked out because they wasn't going to look out. She wasn't really in a good place. She wasn't in a good space. Maybe maybe her baby's father and their family loved her. Like, yeah, y'all a good couple together, whatever. I wish y'all hadn't been doing what y'all was doing and got yourselves into this situation, but maybe they held it down had her come stay with them. So here you are, 16 years old, living with your man, 17 years old, still in school, parents helping out, watching the kids. Everybody had, the child, or in the case where you had twins, because the shit happens too. All right, so you already living with somebody before you even, not only before you got married, but before you was even living life, before you even really knew what life was, before you were even able to take care of your kids on your own. You might have been in a situation where you were already not just booed up with somebody, but you laid up with somebody. So in his little twin bed is you, him, and the baby. See, back in the day, babies lived in a crib. Remember when babies used to live in a crib? You would put the baby to bed in a crib. They don't do that no more. Now they got bassinet. That's all you're gonna get. Bassinet. The baby sleep with the mom, which is actually very dangerous because you could roll over and crush the baby. But let's stay positive. Anyway, so you could already have been in a live-in situation way before you even thought about getting married, because that situation might have been your first move-in, but it probably won't be your last. And you know how hard it is for a teenage couple who have a baby to stay together, because y'all both real young. Man, I got a damn hangnail. Because y'all real young. Y'all was hot and heavy. Hot and heavy. Shout out to all other women out there that had babies before they even knew how to orgasm. I think it's so tragic. Had a baby, maybe even two, before you even bust. Hey, it happens. It happens. It's grown talk here. It happens. You had a baby or two or three before you ever had a... Shout out to y'all. Good things come to those who wait. All right. Art of Mind says keeping each other's health in check is important. Mental and physical. Facts. Matter of fact, we're gonna cowbell that. And Single blackjack dealer, what's good? How you feeling? And she says, I want to be his lady for now. It's been over 15 years since I was a girlfriend. Eventually, I will marry. Bet on it. And you a single blackjack dealer, so I guess a betting is what you gonna do. That's what's up. And Art of Mine says, sounds familiar. Yeah, I mean, we seen it. You don't have to be a part of something. You don't have to actually do something in order to know what it's about. And you may have seen this before. Darshan Jin, what up? Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. Do all three. You'll never be disappointed if you do one. You'll never be disappointed if you do one. So if you got to do one, hit the like button. We got 12 likes. We can do better than that. We can do better than that. 15 in the house. We can do better than that. We can do better than all of this. It all starts at one. Everything starts at one. One. What's good, y'all? All right, so living together versus getting married. Living together versus being married. How we doing with the poll question? 64% say that you will never get married if you move in together before you get married. And 42% say no. Actually, this is pretty close. Okay, somebody else just voted. So we got 13. All right, so 62% say you won't get married if you move in before you get married. And 38% say, nah, you might still get married if you move in with somebody. You might. What up, Fontaine? What's good? How you feeling? All right, so this whole living together thing. Living together. What a lot of people don't seem to understand, and I've thought about this. I've thought about this many times, long and hard, or whatever. A lot of people think that when you move in with each other, or if you are in a long-term relationship, that you never reach that high level of commitment, that you have never really committed. Do y'all agree with that? Do you think that if you live with each other instead of getting married, do you think that you have not committed yourself to a person? Yes, no. What do y'all think? What up, Jeff Guapo? My people's Jeff Guapo. West Coast. West Coast player. What's going on, my dude? He says, I already lived with a significant other. I'm not doing it again unless I really feel like I can marry you. I was young too. You still young, son. You still young. You still young. So you mean you was young. You was baby young. You was still like riding a big wheel. You was riding a big wheel. Did you spin out on that, John? You spin out the big wheel. Yeah. All right. But do y'all think so? Do you think that when a couple lives with each other and has not gotten married or doesn't have plans to get married anytime soon, do you think it's because they are afraid of commitment or they just haven't reached that level of commitment yet? What do y'all think? What you think? Damn, Jeff, you said we talking 16 and 18. Yeah, you was young. You was young. But what do y'all think? Do you think that when when you haven't got married, because some people, especially nowadays, man, people get married at the drop of a dime. They don't be knowing each other. They be getting married fast as fuck nowadays. I blame social media. I do. I blame social media. And I'm not saying that people didn't get married fast before social media, but social media hyped it up. And it definitely extended the party into the late hours. It watched the sun come up. It definitely made the sun come up. And now the reason that I ask if y'all think that people have not reached a high level of commitment when they move in with each other is because I know that a lot of people think that. They feel that way. Well, if y'all don't get married or if y'all not planning to get married, it's probably because y'all don't really want to be with each other or you're holding out hope for something better later on and you want to be able to jump right into that without having to unravel and without having to go through the red tape, go through the courts, go through the whole process of getting divorced. A lot of people feel that's what's going on with people who have not gotten married, but instead have decided to be with each other or move in with each other. Well, I say this. I think that if you move in with somebody, you've committed to something. Whether you have committed to that person or not, here's some things that you have committed to. One or both of you have committed to that landlord or that mortgage company. You've committed to that. One or both of you have committed to those utility companies, gas, water, electric, cable. Even if you don't have cable, you cut the cord. All right, these apps. I don't know, Apple TV, Google TV, Amazon Prime, Netflix, whatever. You've committed to that. Those bills come and they got to get paid. So even if you haven't committed to love, you committed to pay, making sure that you keep a roof above you, maybe a car to drive, and revolving accounts. Revolving bills every 30 days. You know what I mean? The bills be there with their hand out like, what's up? Yeah, I know you just paid me last month. This is a new month. Give me my money while I'm cutting it off. You may have also committed to that person in an equal or maybe even a deeper way than some married people have done. Now, I'm going to explain what I mean by that. And I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm really trying to see how y'all feel about it. But let me tell y'all how I feel about it first. It's harder to live with a person and stay with a person consistently and seriously without a piece of paper making you do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Married people have the state and the document making them stay together. And for some married people, that's the only reason they together. For some married people, the only reason they are together is because that piece of paper says that if we break up, I gotta share all of my shit with you. Now, I'm just saying. Now, people who live together, you're not going to stay with somebody in an unmarried situation if you don't love them, if you ain't feeling them, if you really want to be with somebody else and be somewhere else. So married people may frown on the living together thing because they feel like they haven't committed. But people who live together will tell you, no, our love is strong. We don't need a piece of paper in order to tell us that we want to be with each other. The only reason we're together is because we want to be together. And yeah, maybe we're gonna get married one day, but both of us are comfortable in this situation. So we don't need to be tied down by the legal system in order to be together. I come home every night to my baby, and my baby comes home every night to me. And I ain't gotta make them do it. And I ain't gotta go to see no judge, no moderator, no counselor, no therapist, no nothing. Nothing makes us be together, and nothing is tearing us apart. So you may disagree with what I just said, and I would be fine with it if you did disagree. But it's just something to take into consideration. It's something to take into consideration. When you live together, you living with each other more than likely 9 times out of 10 for love. People get married and be like, well, I really only got married because they wanted to. Or I really only got married because I wanted to say I got married. Women do that shit all the time. All of their girlfriends get married. They got to get married. Everybody leaving me behind. You know, I'm going to be a spinster. I'm going to be a spinster. You know what a spinster is? That's a woman. That's an unmarried woman. They got another word for it. Not old maid. There's another word for it. I can't remember it right now. It'll come to me. All right. Ali Muhammad said, why the blacks love milk more than Malcolm X? Oh, MLK. That's an interesting question there, Ali. And I'm gonna tell you this. That's the funny thing about Malcolm X. When Malcolm X was alive, he wasn't very popular at all. You wouldn't know that with the way that history treats him now. One thing that history did with both is it aged them well. Their legacies aged very well, but Malcolm's aged even better than Martin's did. Because nobody really, I ain't gonna say nobody, but Malcolm X was not a well-known figure. MLK was. You didn't see no big Malcolm X marches. Martin Luther King wouldn't have been able to get killed in the Audubon ballroom because the Audubon ballroom wouldn't have held enough people that would have wanted to come see Martin Luther King. So when Malcolm X was with the Nation of Islam, he worked tirelessly for them. And he barely got paid, didn't own anything, didn't even own his own car. So he had a wife and 4 daughters. 4 daughters. And they kicked him out of the Nation of Islam and he didn't have shit. Firebombed his house. They firebombed his house because they really wanted to take his house. You know, he had rights to his house, so they couldn't take it, so they burned it. Simple as that. But Malcolm X wasn't the iconic figure when he was alive as when he died, as he was when he died. When he died, people started reading the autobiography of Malcolm X written by about to say Langston Hughes. I'm tripping. By the man who wrote Roots, Alex Haley. Thank you, Seka Sala. You know what I mean? As soon as I said it, I saw it on the screen. You may have said it way before, but you know. But yeah. So I don't think that is people respect or love MLK more than Malcolm X. It's more like it was when they were both alive. When they were both alive, MLK was more visible because his message was easier to receive from others. Malcolm X started to become more liberal toward the time of his death. But you have to remember, it was all Black power. Well, not even Black power. It was, you know, the white man is the devil. And, you know, I mean, it is what it is. He was a great man. But his message was not going to be allowed to be out there in the media. They were not going to promote Malcolm X like they were going to promote Martin Luther King. So Martin Luther King was always going to have the edge of visibility. And, you know, Malcolm X had the Nation of Islam, which was a closed organization. And Martin Luther King had the Southern Baptist Council or Southern Christian Council. Oh. Hold on. What was the name of Martin Luther King's organization? Southern Christian Leadership Council. He had that behind him. The Southern Christian Leadership Council. Who you think the white media is going to promote? Who they called the Black Muslims, who were seen as who they painted as a terrorist organization, or the Southern Christian Leadership Council? Who do you think they're going to promote? So just like before, they both have notoriety and a lot of people knew them and respected both of them. But Malcolm had more before and he has more now. Will it always be that way? I think so. Shoot, you know Donald Trump is about to try to implement another Muslim ban. He did it before. And by the looks of things, he finna do it again. All right. So living together versus marriage. Hold on. Let me see what y'all talking about. Jeff says sometimes there's more to it. Your girlfriend can't make decisions that your wife can make when need be. That's true. Things regarding your health, finances, that's true. But it's not that a girlfriend can't make suggestions. I mean, your girlfriend is your wife before you marry her. So you know what I mean. Jeff says, regardless though, without a girlfriend or wife, you are going to have you're going to have bills. True. So you better be committed to you first. That's a little easy. When you marry, you can't just leave because you want to see other people. I've known it to be done. He says you need grounds to leave, otherwise it's over for that fair split. Well, it's only a you only have to worry about a fair split if you actually have something. If y'all broke, if y'all don't really own shit, like if y'all just got an apartment, you ain't gotta worry about it. Take half of what? We gonna do? Take half of the 75-inch TV. All right, go ahead, take it. Half of what? You don't got shit. The problem comes when you have property, when you have assets, when you have money, when you have actual worth. That's the problem. Other than that, y'all, I mean, people don't sue for marriage who don't own shit. I mean, we be forgetting that shit. I mean, you don't need to go to court if you don't own nothing. You don't own no house. What you going to court for? What you protecting? What's your little bank account? Your life savings? How much you got? How much you got? I mean, for real. I mean, you own a house. How much you been saving? I don't mean to sound prejudiced, but a lot of people, most people who don't own a home don't be saving. They be living. They don't be giving a fuck. They don't be putting no money away. People who own houses or who own a home, they be saving money because you never know. You never know when home repairs, going to swoop down on you and fuck up everything. You know. All right. Artemon says few use marriage as a business arrangement. Yeah, you hear a lot of that now. Marriage is a business. I hate when people say that shit too. Marriage is a business, son. I'm like, oh yeah. Marriage is a business. It's funny because I never heard the old heads. I never heard no grandmothers, grandfathers. I never heard the elders say no shit like that. I just never heard that shit. I ain't never hear no older grandma. I mean, I'm talking about the people who was grandmothers and grandfathers back in the 70s and 80s. I ain't never hear them say marriage is a business. I never heard nobody say no shit like that. And so I break it down like, all right, marriage is a business, huh? It is? Yeah, okay. First of all, I think the only people who say that marriage is a business is people who don't have love in their marriage. And I'm just being real about that. That might be just my opinion, and it is. But I say that if you love a person, then you ain't thinking about business. But when you know, or when you don't think that you can get married, then business sounds kind of good. We're going to go the business route. How about that? Okay, take it a little bit further. All right, if marriage is a business, what's our business plan? What's our business plan? What's our business model? No real shit. Because when you actually start a business, these are the things you have to take into consideration. And if you don't do it, your business is bound to fall. So what's your business model? What's your business plan? What are you looking to do? Who are your customers? Who are your customers? Who are your clients? Who are your clients? Your kids? Your kids are your clients? Who are your customers? Your neighbors? Parents? Family? I mean, I don't know a business. I don't know no business that doesn't have a business plan, a business model, clients, customers. What bank are we linked to? How are we gonna grow this business? Are we branching out? Are we franchising? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Info spot 411 and Kareem, what's good? Kareem the Dream, what's good, man? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Oh, talking about Malcolm X and MLK. Artemon says both were significant with different perspectives. True. Seka Sala. Chef Guapo says, yeah, Art, they violent bastards. Who's all right. Kareem asks, who is the God? Who is the God? You the God. We the God. I'm the God. Who the earths? She the earths. She the earth. Jeff Wapo says, brother from the D, without a doubt. Fontaine says, ever heard of The Wire? Bros before hoes. I don't know how old you are, son, but at some point, you gotta throw away that bros before, because nowadays when I hear somebody say bros before hoes, he putting the bros before the hoes for a different reason. Because I don't want to have nothing to do with no bro that's trying to keep me from a hoe. My bros should understand my involvement with my hoes. My bros should be like, yo, go get with that hoe. I'll be here when you need me. I'll definitely be here when you come back. Don't worry about it. I should never have to put no bros before no hoes. Because what do bros do with other bros that don't involve hoes? Ain't nothing I want to do with no bro that won't lead to no hoe. My bro should lead me right to a hoe. Like, yo, oh, I got a hoe. You know I hooked it up. Why? Because I'm your bro. Yo, oh, I got you a hoe. You know I'ma look out because I'm your bro. I said, yo, oh, I got you a nice clean hoe. She's a dedicated hoe. She's a wonderful hoe. I turn into a housewife. You don't think you can turn a hoe into a housewife? Well, I'ma break it on down. And hopefully you understand what I'm saying and stick around. Take the first two letters of housewife. What are the first two letters of housewife? Ho, H-O. Understand? Let's go to the rest of the shit, my man. I said, what are the next three letters? Yo, I think the U-S-E. U-S-E. Use. So what we got a hoe and we got use. Let's keep it going. If you choose the next four letters, W-I-F-E. Yo, what do they spell? What could it be? Wife. Wife. Let's put it together and get some life. I said, ho, use, wife. Ho, use, wife. Ho, use, wife. Ho, use a wife. Hoes use a wife. I turn a hoe into a housewife. Ho, use a wife. I turn a hoe into a housewife. Ho, use a wife. I said a hoe into a housewife. Ho, use a wife. Bros before hoes. Get the fuck out of my life. I said hoes use housewife. Hoes use a house. Hoes use a wife. Hoes use a. I said I turn a hoe into a housewife with the quickness. Just cause she's a hoe and got the thickness don't mean that she can't hook up a steak. And a lot of good kids, good mothers she make. And for God's sake, every man wants a hoe in the bedroom for show. You don't want to be a hoe out in the streets, but in the sheets, you want to make sure that's a hoe that you meet. Yeah, daddy. All right. I think I just got this show flagged. I couldn't help it. Fuck man, hit the like button, y'all. Share the show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to. Jeff Quapo says it sounds like the internet host planning to marry rich people. Homies over hoes, do the homie. Yo, chill. Ah! Yeah, you got chill, son. You got This is not the Hoes Over Bros channel. You come to the wrong place if you talking about hoes or bros over hoes. Ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work, son. It ain't gonna work. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the show. Oh shit, look what we got. All right, we got 20 votes on the poll. We got 20 votes on the poll. Okay. Do you think that when people move in together before marriage, that they will never get married? 50% say yes, 50% say no. So out of 20 people, 10 say no, 10 say yes. And you know what? Guess what? So it's 50%, half and half. You know what else is half? Half of all marriages end in divorce. Actually more, but we're gonna keep it at the half. Half of all marriages end in divorce. Well, what do all live-in situations end in? I mean, we probably don't know. Seka Sala says 60%. Is it 60 now? Is it 60 now? I blame the internet again. I blame social media again. They fucking up the marriages, huh? They promoting the marriages too early and they ending the marriages too soon. They promoting the marriages too early and ending the marriages too soon. Huh? Man, you got to be checking people before you marry them nowadays. But people just be wanting to be like YOLO. Well, my mom and my dad, they wasn't never married. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't end up in that situation. What? Yeah. Let me answer this phone before you hang up.
You have a call from
Ed from Detroit.
My man, Ed from Detroit. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. What's on your mind? How you feeling, my dude?
I'm feeling good. I had to call in. I missed your show yesterday, and I think the day before, but I know last night I missed it. But hey, man, I got to call in about talk a little bit about the bros before the hoes.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about the bros before the hoes.
I agree with you in general, but there is merit to it. Let me just use this example and get your opinion.
Okay.
Let's say you call me up, say, hey, next month on the 15th of February, I'm moving, getting a new apartment or this new condo. I got the U-Haul all rented out. I got you and my brother and another friend of mine to help move. Mm-hmm. No problem. I got you back, Omar. I'll make sure I get the day off work.
Okay.
So the night before, I have a lady friend call me up. Hey, what you got going on? So you want to come over and have a little Netflix night? I was going to go see my sister, but she's gone. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get laid. And then I call you up last minute. Hey, man, I'm going to be I got some female company tonight. Sorry, I can't come help you out. No, man, we'll be like, well, as much as I want to see, maybe we could do it way later tonight or tomorrow I have to do another time. I'm going to put you first. You're my bro. Promise to help you move. You're counting on me. So that's one of those things. It's like, well, as much as I like to get with the hoe, I'm sorry, I got to put the bro before the hoe, man.
What?
In that kind of circumstance, it's not that you predict you're doing something to keep me from having fun with the hoe, but I made a promise to you to help you move. And then with that situation, anyway, just curious your comment on it.
The example that you gave is not really a bros before hoes situation. You know what I mean? Like it would be now if you get with a chick the night before you were supposed to help your man move and you didn't go help your man move because you was laid up with the chick, like the fuck is wrong with you? You said she was a hoe, right? So you laid up with the hoe all night? Like a couple of hours should have done for some of y'all. Maybe you could probably been done in 15 minutes, half an hour. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying a situation where okay, a more bros before a whole situation might be like this. If you sell one out before the other one, Like, let's say it was a situation where your man, all right. Normally, the people who talk about bros before hoes are cats who are out there on the streets. You know, out there on the streets. So if you out there on the streets, you hustling or whatever, you selling with this, doing whatever, you scrambling out there, you know, getting money on the streets, and instead of keeping your mind on the money, you decide to you know, share all of the secrets of your organization with a girl who really isn't interested in building with you, but rather maybe even using that as a weapon against you. So you put the hoe before your bro. You know what I mean? While you should have been keeping your mind on the money and keeping your relationship separate, you decided to let your relationship creep into your business. Sort of like John Lennon let Yoko Ono. Like, why is she speaking on this band? We were a band and famous before she ever came along. Why are you letting her in our band meetings and having her speak on our business, you know, our business things? You know, that's putting a hoe before a bro. Now, putting bros before hoes is like dissing your wife or dissing your girl in order to please your man. So you can't go make money with your man, or you openly mistreat your girl or your wife. Well, it's bros before hoes, so you wouldn't call your wife your hoe. Well, maybe there may be anyway. So, you know, you openly disrespect your girl, act like you don't really care about her or love her when your friends are around, or you instead of spending time with your woman like you have the time to, you know, you go out with your friends and do whatever they influence you to do. That's putting bros before hoes, as far as I'm concerned. And what kind of man would ask you to do that? You know, it's funny because all of that shit that Dr. Dre and Snoop and the Dog Pound and all of those cats used to talk about, we don't love them hoes. You remember, we don't love them hoes. Man, you know, taking these bitches out to eat and all that. And they talked all of that shit. And every last one of them was married in their 20s. All of them. So I'm like, was it really bros before hoes? Did they really not love them hoes? Snoop was with his soon-to-be wife when he was saying we don't love them hoes. He was loving the hoe while saying he don't love them hoes. So yeah, that shit is entertainment, and we can get caught up. We can get caught up in what our homies think of us, rather than sometimes shoot. Plenty of times out there on the streets, your homie ain't even the one that'll ride for you, or take the stand for you, or make sure that you have bail money and all that kind of shit. So I just haven't seen the bros before hoes thing play out in the way that it's supposed to. It sounds good and all of that, but it sounds more like a joke to me. But that's just me.
No, you have a valid point. You know, but then the opposite end would be, if I'm with some, you know, a girl, and then she's like, okay, hey, we're gonna go to the jazz club, have a bite to eat, come back to my place, and then all of a sudden a buddy of mine calls me up, you know, a couple days before we got, you know, I already made plans, we're gonna do something Friday, and he's like, man, fuck that, bros before hoes. We're going over to Jerry or Billy's birthday party. You know, my brother-in-law. We're gonna have some strippers there and the food and fun time. Fuck that. You do a day another time. No, I'm not gonna, you know, treat a woman like that. I'm like, hey, I kept my word. We're going on a nice date. You know, have fun. I missed out on a birthday party. But just as in the opposite respect too, you know, if it's one of my bros and I gave my word to do something, like I use an example, let's say move some furniture, moving. Yeah, but with the hip hop stars, rap stars. A lot of that, they're making money, and I take a lot of what they say with a grain of salt when they talk stuff. You know, it takes me back to I like the Eazy-E song, "Real City G's." You know, when he used the term studio gangster, and he, you know, talked about, he was dissing Dr. Dre about, oh, you know, you once were like disco and dressing up in the costume and stuff, and now you're this hardcore gangster. You ain't really shit. A lot of them, it's just, they run their mouths, run that scratch. It's not really the reality of, you know, who they are in real life. You know, they put that persona on, it sells, makes them money, you know, that's their, but in the reality, in real life, it's something totally different, just like you're bringing up.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen. To me, it's probably better to just keep your word. Now, if you, in the reverse, if you told your buddy that, like, listen, it's our friend's birthday or anniversary or something like that, or a bachelor party or something like that, we're all supposed to meet up at a hotel. They're going to jump out of the cake or whatever, you know, however it goes. If you told your man that you were going to be there and make sure that we give him a proper send off or whatever, however it's going to go, you should do that. You know what I mean? If you let your woman talk you out of a commitment, then you're wrong. You know what I mean? But that's not bros before hoes. It's listen, I have a date that I'm supposed to keep. The same way that you would want me to respect this date that I have with you, or that I would make with you. I have to keep this, you know, I have to keep this commitment that I have over here. Now, it's probably not a good idea to let your woman know that the reason you ain't gonna boo love with her tonight is because you gonna go, you know, stuff a bunch of dollars. You know what I mean?
Some topless dancers that get drunk and be stupid and have fun. Yeah.
You might want to, you know, there might be some information that you want to keep on the low, but nonetheless, you know, just keep your word. And if you are dealing with a woman who doesn't want you to keep your word to other people, how does she expect that you'll keep your word to her?
True. I guess I kind of look at it too, like a similar example would be, let's say I have a date with my woman, right? And one of my friends says, hey, man, Red Wings game is on. We're all meeting up at Buffalo Wild Wings. I say, hey, I'd love to do that, but, you know, I got a date with Lisa. I'll just use her name. Already planned that blah, blah, blah date. And he tells me, hey, man, it's bros before hoes. Tell me you got to do something, man. All the fellas are meeting up here. We're watching the Red Wings game with Buffalo Wild Wings, man. Have some fun. I'm not having that, you know. Hey, it'd be cool. I'm all down for some food and some drinks and watching the Red Wings, but, you know, I made a commitment, going to the date another time. But I sometimes will use that, you know, phrase, oh, it's bros before hoes. I'm like, no.
Yeah. No. Now, how many Red Wings games are there per season?
A ton of them, just like Pistons,
like 41 of them, right?
A ton of them, right?
I think they play 82 games. So yeah, I think you might have another opportunity to see a Red Wings game. You know what I mean? By the way, who are the Red Wings arch rival?
Oh gosh, well, for a number of years it was the Blackhawks, but then they switched the division around. They used to be Western Conference, and now they're like Eastern Conference. I'm not as much into the hockey as I am football and bowling. I was just using an example because I've had friends, this is years ago, say that sometimes when I had something planned with a woman, like, hey man, it's bros before hoes. We're doing this, we're doing that. I'm like, no. It's with the whole, you know. But I guess maybe in my argument's more commitment, you know, either way. Sometimes people try to use that phrase, bros before hoes, but if I keep my word and my commitment, that's who I am. That's the character is more important to me. But I'm probably a little bit off track from like what you're talking about.
No, well, yeah. I mean, it all goes in the same pot. But like, I think it's kind of funny, especially at our age. Some bros before hoes. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? By this time, we got kids. We done probably been married, divorced. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not gonna play out. Bros before hoes is like that's for like teenagers, maybe 20s, when you start to get start to really just start to come into your own and learn yourself and try to get established. But let me ask you this. So on track with the topic, have you ever lived with somebody?
No, I've been in a few relationships where I've had a bunch of shit over at the woman's place, and I'm there like 3 days a week or whatnot.
Okay.
But I haven't been married, and I haven't been in a relationship where I've like lived with a woman for a year, 6 months or stuff. But I've been in a couple relationships for a good few years where I've had shit over at their apartment, and I'm over there, their place. I'll say 3 days a week.
Okay. So what's your general feelings on marriage versus living with each other?
My feeling is living with each other is good if it's like an engagement. If it's just like, okay, well, we want to have sex quite a few days a week. We want to take this to the next level, and we'll see about getting married a year or so from now. A lot of times that shit ain't gonna work out. But when it's something like, hey, we set an engagement for 2020, for let's say July of 2028, let's move in together. If if we have some problems or issues, we'll tackle it, before we get into the marriage. So if there's something that's that big of a problem, we could decide before the marriage. But a lot of times I think that's a good idea if it's, there's an engagement and that's what the main objective is getting married.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works out that way. I don't know. I mean, it's like you say, that divorce rate is 60%. Nothing's shit. Some people get married within a year and they're married for years and years, and other people be together for 6 years, get married, and then 2 years later they're in a divorce.
Mm.
Christ,
it's sort of
irreconcilable differences, and this other stuff is just, divorce is just so common now. My goodness.
Yeah.
Can't put my finger on it. I know a few things, but like when you start talking baby boomers, traditionalists, and before, it'd be divorce. There's very seldom then, where now it's just like commonplace. Like,
yeah. I look at it like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, people get married for reasons that they get married, and some of those reasons are good reasons. I mean, marriage is definitely the foundation of the family, and it's the foundation of neighborhoods and things like that. Marriage is a wonderful thing, but you can still have good community involvement and positivity if you are a positive person, whether you are married to somebody or not. But when you marry somebody, I'm thinking that you're marrying somebody because it's a good situation for you and them. Other than that, I don't see any reason to get married. You know what I mean? Like, if you really don't want to be with somebody, why would you marry him? And I have to put it that way because I know too many people who really didn't give a shit about each other enough to be married, and they did it anyway. Or they married because it was sort of in vogue. It was something that a lot of their peers were doing and whatever, and they didn't want to be left out. I literally know people because they literally wanted to be able to say they did it at least once. All right, I mean, that's good for them. But if we're talking about living with each other versus getting married, I contend that it's harder to stay with somebody that you're not married to. It's harder to commit to somebody that you're not married to. And if you do commit to them, then you really, really want to be with them. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to do it. It's totally your choice. Now, would you rather be involved in a situation where you are committing because of the feelings that you have for somebody, or would you rather commit in a situation where a piece of paper is forcing you to commit? Is that even real commitment? we probably have to define what real commitment is. And I don't mean the Webster dictionary. I mean for yourself. Like, what does commitment mean to you? Like, for example, like when you consider yourself to be committed, do you look at it in a situation where no matter what happens, I'm going to try to I'm going to try to work it out. I'm going to try to keep us together. I'm going to keep this thing going. I'm not going to allow myself to fall out of love with you. And even when we disagree or not, or aren't on the same page, or not seeing eye to eye, or really not getting along very well, I'm not going to just try to break out. Like just like if I was married, I'm going to try to hold it down for us. I'm going to try to keep it together. I'm going to hold out hope that we will return to the good place where we were before. It's a little more difficult to do that when you don't have a piece of paper or a judge or a moderator hovering over you, influencing you, or telling you that, okay, in order for y'all to have an amicable split, it probably would be a good situation if neither one of you have anything to split up. So I can see the good in marriage or living together if you are committed. Because I've known too many people who were married and unhappily married, miserably married, and really not having their head in the game as far as marriage is concerned. So they're married on paper and physically, but the things that they're doing and all of their joy and happiness and satisfaction is outside of the marriage. So before they get home to the person that they're married to, they got to stop at the person they really love's house. You know what I mean? In order to sort of fill up the car so they can be okay by driving home, so to speak. Wink, wink, wink. So, like, what's the point? So being married works for people who it works for, and being unmarried but living together works for those who take that route. But there are so many administrative things that you do when you live together that you do when you are married. Let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
The whole what do you think about when mostly women say this, but when you hear, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? What comes to your mind when you hear that?
Almost, oh gosh, it's like a selfishness. If I'm trying to say the word quickly, being selfish, and it's like self-centered, it's just, there's some things too that I look at with the marriage where, if we're married, and this, I mean, a woman married, it's more likely that she's not going to fool around, as well as some family issues will be handled differently. Where if some of her family leans on her for money or doing this or that, and we're not married, well, come on, get it done. Well, it's just your boyfriend you live with. And then versus married, be like, oh, wait a minute, let me run this by my husband before I just decide to do such and such. Or some of her girlfriends try to talk her into, having some fun, or, seeing some guy, you'd be, whoa, she's married. But it's a commitment that they both want to be with each other, and then getting married for the wrong reasons is just a matter of 9 times out of 10 of when the divorce is going to happen, whether it's a year or 6 months, a couple of years. So, like a great example I would see in the corporate world, I'd see these execs that would be in their later 40s and 50s, 6-figure incomes, well done, and then they would go marry these bombshell women that are like in their early 30s, and damn well the woman wouldn't want anything to do with them if he didn't have that kind of money. So he probably buys her the Cadillac and, here's money, blah, blah, blah. But then it's only going to last so long, the guy will get controlling, or she's not going to be happy after a couple of years, like, well, I just married him because of the money and this and that. So it's got to be mutual, and, they're both in it because they want to be with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I can only speak so much. I've never been married, you know. I know some things, but in another way, there's a lot that I don't know because I haven't been through that, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so I've lived with someone twice.
Okay.
Now I've never moved there, but they've moved here. They've lived with me before. So you learn a lot about yourself when you involve yourself in a living situation. Now, I've never been married, but without being married and observing how married people live, if you're serious, there really aren't too many differences between living together and being married, because you do the same things. You pay bills together, you support each other, you love each other, you help each other, you're around each other a lot, and you try to make each other happy as often as possible. You may even into financial agreements with each other. My ex used to have my whole bank card number. So if she needed something, or if something needed to be paid or whatever, she could pay it. So that's another thing. Living with each other requires trust.
Oh, yeah.
It does. It requires trust. And so does being married. Being married definitely requires trust. Now, ask yourself, do most married couples have trust? I've seen some that do. I've seen plenty that don't. You know, now I'm not going to downplay marriage, but I've seen plenty of marriages where they don't have trust. And trust goes a long way. We're not just talking about whether you would run off with my money, or run off with another dude, or some shit like that. Can I trust you to be myself around you? I know dudes who have to hide things that they like from their girl. I know a dude who used to drink. He had to hide the fact that he drank from his wife.
Yeah.
They had two or three kids. I'm like, and then he started smoking weed. So I'm like, your wife don't know that you drink or smoke? Well, no, I don't, she know I drink a little bit. Now, the crazy part is, when I first met him, he didn't drink at all. As time went on, he started drinking. And he started drinking a lot. And then he started smoking. And then he started smoking a lot. So, now he's hiding. Now, I can't say that he didn't trust his wife in other ways, but some of the things that he was doing that he obviously enjoyed, and were maybe even, slipping in the darkness with, he didn't trust his wife to support him in that way. And maybe I'm just saying that he didn't trust her. Maybe he had another feeling or another way of going about it. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
you can best believe, if you are in a live-in situation, more than likely, if you smoke, your girl probably smoke. If you drink, your girl probably drink. You know what I mean? Because that's more than likely what made y'all decide to move in with each other anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, cutting the cord when it comes to bills and stuff like that, instead of paying two rents. You decide to pay one mortgage or one rent. Shit like that. So it's hard to say what's good for somebody else, but you can compare in a certain type of way. Depends on what you like.
True. Well, like I had a coworker before he got divorced. This was some years ago. Anyway, it was about a year before his divorce. I ordered pizza one night, and then he's like, "Let me chip in some money towards large pizza. Yeah, get a large." I think I was getting a smaller medium. I was like, "Yeah, no problem." Then when I got it, he surprised me. He's like, yeah, my wife won't let me eat the pizza, and she wants me to watch my food, my diet, because she was on some diet thing and making him do it and shit. And I'm like, man, that's fucked up. And he started telling his wife was got basically really controlling on that, you know. Yeah. But no, that's true, you know. Oh, yeah. It's kind of, well, with relationships that I've been in with good women, it helped me see bad women in the sense of woman that's material, or a woman that's got some issues where I'm like, whoa, you know, that's one thing that, you know, has helped me. And I imagine people like with you living with a woman, as well as like people that have been in some marriages. Yeah, I get, you know, knowledge comes many ways. That's some, you know, one way it comes like that you're explaining, you know, by living with a woman, you've learned from that, you know, just as well as someone who's been married once or twice, you know, certain things that they'll learn and pick up on, like me, been in a long-term relationship with some good women and how they treat me, and they're not going to be asking me for money. A lot of times they take pride in, you know, being able to pay their own bills, do their own stuff. Now, yeah, there's exceptions, you know, they might fall on hard times, or they won't be trying to hit me up for material things. They just want my time.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. I have to address something in the chat. I'm gonna have to.
Oh, nope, I'm not even looking at the chat yet.
We good. I just had to address a little something in the chat. You know, we got a couple of trolls that come through it, but they erase their own shit. I think that's interesting.
You're gonna troll and delete your stuff.
Yo, I mean, he didn't wait for no moderators to do it. He deleted his own shit. There's a guy named Wanderer in the chat. He talking much shit, but he deleted all of his comments. And then the dude from yesterday, Quasimodo, he coming through to talk shit. So okay, all right, it is what it is. The gang's all here. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Hey, before I take off though, you mentioned earlier. We were talking, you know, in the younger years, the pros before hoes, and that made me remember a funny story. I was trying to leave you with a funny story. I was in my, I think junior year of high school at this time. Yeah, it was the summer before my senior year of high school. So I'm not even 21. I'm with my buddy, and we were over at his place, and then got a call about a hotel party at this hotel near Detroit. And long story short, we get there, and it was about 6 or 8 kids, and then guys, and there was like another, you know, 5 or 6 women there. It's close to about 20 people. And it was a second floor. It was one of these hotels, I think it was called the Star 6. It had like this wood balcony thing, you know, for the second floor. You had this big cement stairwell you went up. Mm-hmm. And I get in there, and one of the kids does one of these pull-ups on the coat rack. Well, these things aren't really bolted into the wall, you know, and the studs and spacers. Yeah. And the damn thing comes down, and then, you know, they had some music going. So we're there for about 10 minutes, and then you had the old thing to the bathtub full of ice, you know, and the beer and the liquor's all in there. So I go out, I step outside, I was talking to someone who was having a smoke. I look, and the guy comes up, and he had like one of these shirts on. It was like a blue or red shirt. I could tell it was like one of those staff shirts. And he looked over at the 3 or 4 of us. He went back down, and my buddy came out, Eric. I'm like, man, we need to get the fuck out of here. This guy, it had a look. He looked over, and I could tell he was pretty pissed. I think this someone works. So either we're going to be, if we get lucky, be some more staff coming up, or they probably call the cops. Okay. So I said, we need to get the hell out of here. Well, keep in mind, we're all minors, you know, and all this alcohol there in the party. And so sure as shit, about another 5 minutes go by, me and my friend Eric, and we get down, he had, I think it was a Ford Escort. We got in his car, said we had to go, we will stop back later. Anyway, we get out of this hotel, and we get down the road, and it's one of these, it has the median and the turnaround. There's like two lanes that go north, 2 lanes that go south. Just as we get in the turnaround, here come like 3 police cars. Wham, wham, wham. And they came in there and they busted it up. And then They hit just about everybody up there with a minor possession, and then they had to go. A lot of them had to come up there and go pick them up. I'm like, damn, we got out of there just in the nick of fucking time.
I'll say.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. Just lucky. But it made me remember that story.
Man, when you have those kind of close calls, it's like those kind of close calls will make you reevaluate your whole life sometimes, man. You know what I mean? Because it's like, like what is it that made me not get caught when everybody else went down? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe a few of us got away, like in your situation, and everybody else bit the bullet. That shit is crazy, but it happens. It happens. That happened. Something like that happened to me in '89. We went to for Labor Day. We went to Virginia Beach. We drove down to Virginia Beach, and I had never been there before. And it was like Greek Fest down there in Virginia Beach. It was a big like thing. I had never heard of it. And so everybody, well, I ain't gonna say not everybody, but so many people went down there for that weekend. And they go down to Virginia Beach. Everybody's hanging out. They go to clubs and partying. It was a wonderful thing. And we were participating in all of that, and it was great. And I remember I went. I saw this woman. Now I have to say she was a woman because she was a little bit older than me, but I had met her back in Philly, and she happened. Yeah, and she just happened to be there. And she, I wasn't driving at the time because I was 19 years old. I was 19 years old. I was in college, and just doing what I do, and she had to be about maybe 25, 26, some shit like that. And I really was feeling this chick, and she dug me, but you could tell she was a little hesitant because she looked at me like I was younger, and she was driving this Mitsubishi Conquest. That was a hell of a sports car in 1989.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, she got a Conquest. So I'm up in the hotel with her. When I tell you I was trying to see this chick. I'm using every trick in the book. The tricks wasn't working, but it did allow me to get closer to her. At the time I'm up in the hotel with her, a whole riot broke out. And by the time we found out about it, the rioting was pretty much over. The cops started harassing everybody that was on the streets, and people rebelled, and it was a whole big thing. Public Enemy made a song about it. The song "Fight the Power." They were talking about it. Yeah. They were talking about that incident. It was like I missed the whole thing. The next morning, you could see all the carnage and all of that shit. I was like, how did we miss the riot? It was crazy. But yeah, that's one of those situations where we just happened to duck all of the smoke. It was crazy. So yeah, I understand what you
mean. Yeah. Sometimes you get lucky, man. I just happened to notice that guy did the shirt. And then when it was the look on his face, we looked over, I said, "Oh shit, man, shit's gonna hit the fan." I talked to my buddy, and and then you happen to get lucky, man. You were up in that room with her, and you get caught up in that. Riot. The one other story I tell is you mentioned that. I drove by this about 15 minutes after it happened, but in 1997, the Red Wings won like back-to-back Stanley Cups in 97, 98. First year they beat the Flyers.
I remember that shit. I remember that. They skated around our ass like, that shit was fucked up. But yeah, go ahead.
Wait, you might remember this from the news. It was about a week later, right after they won that Stanley Cup, 3 of them players got in a bad fucking accident, and then one of them is still alive today. It was these Russians, Fedorov or Konstantinov and someone else.
Yeah.
But long story short, I drove by this where the limo, they were in a limousine, and the limo driver got cut off, or they suspected something happened. But anyway, he hit this median and went into a tree, and the thing flipped over on its side. And one of them ended up on a wheelchair in the second year when they beat the Washington Capitals. Eiserman gave that guy in a wheelchair the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
But I drove by that accident about 15 minutes after it happened, just after the ambulance, I think, came and picked them up. And I saw that limo flipped over. And it was when the Bulls, I think, were playing the Utah Jazz in the finals. And then I went to the bar, and I was telling my friends, I'm like, man, I drove by this real bad accident, man. This limo it was like one of these stretch limos. It was like freaking flipped over, and they had one of those flatbed trucks and getting the wrench ready and a bunch of police cars and stuff. And just as I got done saying it, the news broke like teletape right over the Bulls game there. You know, the accident Detroit Red Wings players involved in rushed to this Royal Oak Beaumont Hospital. It's right near Detroit. I went, wow.
Yeah.
But hey, that's lucky, man. You got lucky.
Hey, sometimes it's meant for it to happen to you, and sometimes you get removed from the situation. You just never know. But it's good to try to avoid trouble as much as possible. It's not always possible, but you still got to try.
Did you try to get her some drinks when you were in the room so you can get some?
Man, I tried everything.
You like some cognac or you that and get her?
If I could have stayed with her all night, I would have. I tried everything. But I did call her when we got back to Philly and whatever. It didn't go down. But that would have been the perfect place to catch it, because I didn't. Who would have thought it was like a chance encounter? Like, yo, that's the chick I met at the club, and I literally met her at a club. And she was a big chick, big giant titties. She had big fat ass. She was kind of tall. You know, it was kind of like it was literally a conquest to get with her. And she drove a conquest.
That Take Me Baby almost reminds me like that other one, but it was like a fake sports car to me, the Ford Probe back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was like a wannabe Mustang.
Yeah, I remember that.
But the Conquest was a good fucking car, though.
Yeah, it was. It looks at the time, it looked real spacey. You know, she gave me a ride from wherever we were to the hotel. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the car. I'm like, yeah, this is great. Drop me off.
But she was adamant not giving you any, man. That sucks.
I think if she wasn't there with her girlfriends, I might have been able to swing it. But she wasn't going to let my young ass.
They have that code, like, you know, you got to have the wingman to help you out.
Yeah. Now, I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking, y'all, we're down here for these festivities. So you had to, think that there was a chance that one of y'all or some of y'all or all of y'all are going to, run into something. But nah, I think I might have got a little cock block that night. But oh well. You live and you learn.
Yeah, it happens, man. It happens. Sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you're like, oh shoot, man, damn.
I wonder if I would have promised to live with her. Like, look, I can move in.
Yeah. You can try to scratch some game, like find out if there's something you need or buy. So yeah, you know what, I might be getting something like that. I was thinking of buying that, or just something to get you laid for the night. But it didn't work, man. I had one time, I remember a lady came over. We met at a bar, and it was like more of a dance club thing. And then we talked a few times, and she's like, "Oh, I'll come over, and I ain't doing nothing." And then this is my old house. I had a pool table downstairs, and she suited pool, but man, she was just kind of let me know in all her sort of ways that I wasn't getting any, and she just wanted to come over for a couple hours and hang out. But she liked rum and coke, man. So I was like, "Help yourself, man. It's all right there in the cabinet." So after about the third rum and coke, that's when she came over, and then I got some. Took a little bit of the alcohol to kick in. I was like, oh, wow, all right. But hey, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you don't, man. Anyway, hey, pleasure talking with you as always. Man.
Always, man. Have a good night. Thanks for calling in.
Yep. And go Eagles.
Without a doubt. I need your vision to come true. And it starts on Sunday.
You know it.
That's what's up.
All right. Man. Take care.
Good luck.
Bye.
Peace. My man Ed from Detroit, Info Spot 411. Always check out my man Info Spot 411. Go over to his channel, man. Check him out. He's doing good things over there. Holla at him. Yes, we still here. Look, we've just reached the 2-hour mark. We're about to get on about here, but yeah, piggybacking off of the story I was telling about the chick down in Virginia Beach. She had color contacts in her eyes, on straight looking like a cat. I was not caring. Now, normally I wouldn't mess with no chick that had no damn color contacts in their eyes. Especially in 1989, you know how that shit looked? Like now they have them where they look a little bit more natural. Like these could actually be the color of your eyes. Back then, that shit made you look like a fish or a cat. Or one of those Jamaican gangsters in Marked for Death. Remember the Steven Seagal movie? Anyway, I didn't care. This chick was banging. At least in my eyes, she was. Could it be the alcohol? Could have been. Could have been. Who knows? Who knows? No, Quasimodo, you're not getting in here. Maybe next year. There's no way that I'm gonna answer the phone. You might as well put it up, hang it up, leave it alone. Your tone, yeah, your voice, you're not coming through here. Yeah, you got no choice. Yeah, I recognize your number and it's kind of strange. Maybe it's out of the country, out of my range, but you won't be trolling tonight. Stay your ass in the chat and get shit right. Ha ha, ha ha. No, Quasi, you ain't calling tonight. Can't get it right. I said no, Quasi, can't call it tonight. Maybe tomorrow night. Nope, you can't get it right, Quasi. Let me see. Audemars says, is that Washington versus Eagles? Yeah. Yeah, you know. You know. Eagles going to the Super Bowl. Eagles going to the Super Bowl, son. Qua. All right. We about to do these birthday shout-outs and we about to get on up out of here. What the hell, man? I done damaged myself out here tonight. What's going on? I got a splinter? Where did I get a splinter from? Is that some shit? This shit hurt. It is a splinter. I got a fucking splinter. The hell? I don't know. All right. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious January 23rd, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business, acknowledging them, making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. Number one out the box. My man Maurice Munch Watts. Happy birthday to you, my brother. And also Lisa Hill. Go get her, Lisa Hill. And Abyssinia Naphtali. Happy birthday. And Dejanabu Leith. Happy birthday. And Dion Schoolfield. Happy birthday. And Taisha Johnson. Antonia McIntyre. No relation. But what up, guys? What's good? And also, oh no, that's it. Last but not least, I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious January 23rd, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn to rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and go hard, go for yours, and go hard, go for yours, and remember, yo, whether you live together or whether y'all, get it together and get married, it still varies into another segment, a section. When you get married, there's no protection against your heart. You gotta keep yourself guarded, but you ain't gotta go into no half-hearted situation, whether you're living together or make the same decisions. Yo, you gotta weather the storm. Soft and warm like a quiet storm. The rain's coming down. What you doing now? Do you love your girl? Do you put the crown on her head or treat her like she shit is dead? Yo, I gotta make a choice. I'm going to treat her like Ford Probe Rolls Royce. Do I love my baby? Does she really come against me and drive me crazy? Does she make my heart beat out of my chest? Do I really think about somebody and think of her less? I gotta make some decisions. This ain't surgery. There won't be no incisions. Yo, everybody against us. It's me and her against the world, and it won't bust. Yo, don't never try to disrespect. Don't never come at my girl or try to come at her neck. Yo, and try to put a hickey on it. What the fuck is you talking about? Don't get picky. Want it? Yo. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 1 a.m. tomorrow night. And y'all know we're going to talk about music tonight. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we will be talking about music. It's going to be a music show. Let me see if I have a good music topic that we can talk about tomorrow. Let me see what I'm talking about. Some music show. We talking about that? Yeah, we did talk about that. Did we talk about that though? Oh yeah, we did. Well, we come up with something dope. But tomorrow will be a music topic. I can guarantee you that. It's going to be something dope. And if y'all have any suggestions, let me know. Let me know. I'm opening all of that. But y'all going to have to hurry up before tomorrow. Israel Rivera says you don't stop. It's music that makes your body rock. We take it to the old school throwback Thursday. I remember when I used to throw back worst day of my life. When I remember I got knocked. I was chilling in the spots. Here come the cops. Battering ram right to the door and asked me, fuck you selling these drugs for? And who are those whores? All naked. They was chopping up the product. I had to respect it. I said, yo, officer, I'm just here. My brother's over there, and we are really clear of any wrongdoing. If you ask me my name, I got some fake ID, and he has the same. And we ain't really trying to go to jail tonight, so I can pay you off and make your pockets right. He wasn't trying to hear it. Had a little spirit. He was a real super cop, and he was ready to let the thing drop on my head. I was looking at mad years. I was saying I ain't never going to drink a beer, not out of a can. You know how it go in jail. You ain't never been to jail. I ain't never been to jail. But I was facing time and dropping dimes, and I ain't really know how the hell I was going to go for mine. But I said, when I get back to the world, I'm going to always treat my family right and my girl. Should we live together or should we get married? All these decisions, they might vary. But I know that the situation was scary. And I ain't scared to admit it. I was ready to quit it. Was I going to tell? Was I going to drop a dime? I said, I ain't doing that shit. Not over a little crime. But hey, I had a high-power lawyer and got out of the spot. And that shit was crazy hot. But I'm going to come back and I'm going to make it. No, now I'm going to come back. And I'm going to make a son. No. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to make it run. Because I deal in the sky just like the sun in the back of me. What you going to say to me when I've been through? Man, fuck it. Fuck it, man. It's time. Tomorrow, though. Oh, by the way, hit Hit the like button, y'all. Share the show. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you know what I mean? Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel. All right. Let's get on up out of here, man. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back. Don't like you know that. Oh, let me get on up out of here. I can take my uniform off. Y'all can take y'all uniform off. Yes. Yes, we good. Everything good. Levels is good. Levels is good. What's the final results of the poll? 26 votes. No. 25 votes. What we got? It was still close. Very, very close. 1 vote difference. 1 vote difference. 52% says, well, the question was, do you think that when people move in together before marriage, they will never get married? 52% said yes. They think that they won't get married. And 48% said no. No. They still gonna get married. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. Y'all have a good night, man. Peace.